Hello guys, welcome you to S. Chermang presentation on English poetry Beach by M.Arnold. Okay, in this presentation I'm going to discuss with you about the poem, the introduction, the summary and the theme of the poem. Hope you like this presentation. Please do comment, share and subscribe.
Poem. The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the strait, on the French coast of the light, Gleamsan is gone. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering and vast, out in the tranquil bay. Come to the window, sweet is the night air, only from the long line of spray. Where the sea meets the moon-blenched land, listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles, which the waves draw back and fling, at their return up the high strand. Begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. The sea of fate was once too at the full, and round earth's shore lay like the folds of a bright girdle full. But now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night winds, down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. Introduction. Beach is the most celebrated poem by M.Arnold, a writer and educator of the Victorian era. The poem expresses a crisis of faith, with the speaker acknowledging the diminished standing of Christianity, which the speaker sees as being unable to withstand the rising tide of scientific discovery. New research and intellectual inquiry cast doubt on humankind's central and special role in the universe. The speaker in the poem senses this change almost subconsciously, seeing and hearing it in the sea that the speaker is looking out upon. In its expression of alienation, doubt and melancholy, the poem is often interpreted as a remarkably forward-thinking precursor to 20th century crisis of faith like existentialism and absurdism. In essence, the poem is an inquiry into what it means to be alive. Summary. The speaker looks out upon a calm sea and observes the fullness of the tide and the moon reflecting on the water. Looking across the English Channel, the speaker sees the light of French coast fade away, while the cliffs of England coast stand tall and bright, and the bay seems calm. Suddenly the speaker addresses someone else and implores this person to come and look at what the speaker is looking at, and to enjoy the night's pleasant air. The speaker senses something is not quite right, and describes the spray where the water meets the moonlit lands. The speaker instructs the other person to listen to the sound of pebbles as the waves shift them back and forth, up the beach and down again. The speaker notes this slow repeating action and identifies it with eternal sadness. All of a sudden, the speaker thinks about the ancient Greek playwright Sophocles and imagines Sophocles hearing the same sadness in the agency as the speaker hears now on the English coast. Sophocles, in the mind of speakers, likens the sad sound of the waves to the general sorrow of humanity, which move like the waves. The speaker then notices another thought that comes with the sound of the sea. Explaining this next thought, the speaker described religious faith as a sea that was once full like the tide. At that time, it reached around the earth like a girdle. Now, though the speaker just hears that sea's sad retreat. As the sea of faith becomes smaller, says the speaker, it disappears into the atmosphere and leaves the edges of the world naked. The speaker suddenly addresses the companion as loves and states desperately that the two of them need to treat each other with honesty and authenticity. This is because the world, though it has a dream-like quality of variety, beauty, and newness, doesn't actually offer joy, love, or clarity. Neither, claims the speaker, can it provide certainty, peace, or relief from pain. The speaker then compares their collective situation to standing on a flat and dark piece of land which is caught up in the course of fighting. Here's battles between unknowing groups continue under the cover of darkness. Theme of Dervish. Number 1. Love. Although the word love does not appear until the final stanza, its use reveals the poem has all along been addressed to the speaker's love. Love, let us be true to one another. It is the speaker's love whom he calls to the window to hear and see the waves crash upon the shore. And its fidelity between the two lovers that will provide the only possible respite from the course and misery of the world. The final image of two people standing together on a darkening plain surrounded by struggle and fight shows love persistence despite its embattled state. In contrast to the image of the two lovers, united by their bond and standing against the suffering of the world, is the statement in the final stanza that the world had really neither joy nor love nor light. This statement suggests the world may appear beautiful, but its beauty is an illusion. It only seems to be a land of dreams. For the speaker, the significance of love is not only where it can be found, but also that it can be found at all. Number 2. Love of faith. After describing in stanza 2 how the sound of waves advancing and retreating on the seashore reminded Sophocles of the ebb and flow of human misery, the speakers follows Sophocles' example. He too is reminded of some human truth by the ebb and flow of sea, likening the sea to humankind's ebbing religious faith. The sea of faith was once full, he says, covering the shore like bright clothing. Now it retreats with the loud grating sound water makes as it flows away from the shore. According to the poem, the decline of faith has a number of negative effects. The direct consequence is an image. The edge of the wall, its naked shingles are left bare of the beautiful. Bring bright clothing the sea once provided. The wall is exposed and no longer protected and enveloped in beauty as it once was. Indirectly, the poem implies the desperate state of the world in final stanza is a result of the retreating sea of fate. Because faith has been lost, the world has lost joy, love, light, certitude, peace, and healing. Instead, it suffers struggle, confusion, and the clashing of violent armies. Number 3. Human suffering. Despite its graceful beginning, the poem turns quickly to the thought of misery and violence, triggered by the sound of the wave on the shore. By the end of the poem, readers are presented with an image of complete despair. Links between the stanzas provide a roadmap of speakers' train of thoughts, shedding light on this progression. The common thread is human suffering. According to the speakers, the slow, rhythmic sound of the waves breaking on the shore brings in the eternal note of sadness. This eternal note of sadness, introduced in stanza 1, provides the link to stanza 2, as the speaker explains more about what the sadness is. Long ago, he says, this same sound reminded Sophocles of the way human misery comes and goes in a never-ending cycle. At the end of stanza 2, the speaker decides, like Sophocles, he will find in the sound a thought. His thought is presented in the following stanzas. Stanza 3 gives the substance of the thought, a metaphor. Humanity's religious faith is retreating, and its withdrawal leaves the world a less beautiful, harsher place. Stanza 4 follows up with an image of what the world looks like as this faith is lost, a place with neither joy nor love nor light, nor certitude nor peace nor help for pain, a place instead of suffering. That's all. Thank you.